So yeah, so our project is about making an antibiotic detection kit. Um, so as we know, antimicrobial resistance or antibiotic resistance has problems like treatment failure, rising cost of taking uh, uh, medicinal help, and it has economic impact, and also there is a risk on the food chain. So we thought of inquiring that what are the antibiotics present in chicken. So for that, we interviewed a poultry farmer and with these set of questions, and uh, so interaction he mentions the antibiotic he uses in the poultry farm, and also we inquired about that what he do with the fecal dispose. So he says that it goes to the field, and after and he also claims that once this kind of manure goes to the field doesn't require any more fertilizer, so because that is so powerful. So uh, so while mentioning, he mentions one antibiotic, a lot of antibiotics like biotrim, lixin, asterim, and tetracycline. But we further inquired. So on YouTube, there is a community which is growing, and these poultry farmers are sharing their practices, how they can take on to the disease which is spreading in chicken. And there is a lot they are sharing these short reels and videos. With videos have considerable views also. So they are saying that how they can use this tetracycline uh, for in their poultry farm. So basically, if we look at the chicken cycle, it looks somewhat like this: that antibiotics are given to chicken, fecal dispose again goes to back to the agricultural field, and through crops, it is again consumed by humans, and uh, chicken meat is again consumed by human. So some way or the other, antibiotic is getting back to the environment or getting back to us. Also, further inquiring, we looked at this paper where we saw that uh, it is paper from it is a little old paper from 2010, but it says that tetracycline is something which is found in the chicken meat across different countries. And also a study was conducted in India uh, which which maps the hazardous quotient also. So for various antibiotics, so like enrofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, and again tetracycline is one among the hazardous ones, and it was found in the chicken of in various agroclimatic zones of Chhattisgarh. So we thought of going ahead with tetracycline, that we can make some kit which can detect it. So for that, we looked at some uh, available tests which are there in the market. So so tests are in the range of least is $320 to $1,000. Uh, so the cost of test is more, whereas the cost of chicken is 250 to 300 rupees per kg. So it is something which don't match here. So this table is to show that we need something which is cheaper and which can be used for detection. So it will have, if we do this, it will have an educational aspect to it, which can go like one, we can work with the society, and one, we can work with the farmer. These images are representative images. So in society, we think of working with school, where school can become and uh, school can amplify uh, the awareness around antibiotics. So we can work with teachers, where teachers themselves do some inquiry based activities, by the student and do inquire about antibiotics and detect it. It is not mere passing of information. And with children also we can incorporate certain inquiry based activities which children do inquire and do detect these antibiotics. Also is while schools do this, schools and the community around uh, can complement schools can complement the community around in raising the awareness. And also the kit should be as cheap as, so that if we are working with the farmers, then there can be awareness and training for the butchers who can use the kit and who can perform that test. So also there can be a community of practice for farmer, which who share among themselves that uh, the practices for antibiotic free poultry farming. So this the next is a flow diagram. Rida will walk us through that, how we can go ahead with the detection part.
Rida, can you hear us?
Rida, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
So,
Oh,
okay.
perfect.
So when we were going through the articles, we found that there is a gap between what the technology should be. There is a very less frugal technology available. So we got inspired by one of the articles that has printed aptamer based test assay for lateral flow for another antibiotic. So we got inspired by that. This diagram represents that for tetracycline here. We can go to next slide. So we have done a feedback for this. So this is the snapshot of that. So we wanted to know what are the sensitivity and limit of detection and accuracy. So in the previous table, when we were accessing that, so we saw that the cost is way too higher for this. So for bringing down the cost, we need a assay which we can use for educational purposes as well as for regular customers or companies. So people will be more aware of antibiotic resistance in general. That's it. Thank you.
So Rida, would you like to go into this trademark table and give a detailed walkthrough?
No.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah, do you want to unshare your screen?
yeah.
Yeah. So, questions for Avinash and Rida?
So we wanted to share that we till now we have just identified the gaps, that there is a gap existing for designing such a kit. And yes, and we have done some inquiry in terms of what we can detect and the education, what can be an educational aspect uh, for such an intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, quick sets of questions. So, Avinash, one thing I wanted to ask is, uh, currently, what is the policy? Basically, any farmer can get tetracycline from any pharmacy and can treat their chicken. And because this is the chicken go to the butchers, there's basically no regulatory framework for treating your animals currently.
Yes, it is a very over-the-counter available antibiotic and it is accessible to anyone who requires it. So, actually, in the veterinary medicine in India, we do not generally require a prescription for that. So, it is like used like, just like that.
And
Yeah.
currently, the cost of tetracycline is very low,
Yeah,
I'm assuming. There is
it
no
is
cost
low.
barrier for anybody to use as much
Yes, it
tetracycline as
is
possible.
very low and the dosage as well is very low. So, it is like used rampantly.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, that does sound scary. Any other questions? Um, uh, Yeah, I guess maybe one of the threads to do, Avinash, is we'll kind of do a quick follow-up. It is on the educational side of the story. Anupma in the full scope community has been running a lot of antibiotic awareness workshops, and we should look through her material itself, but then really build and choose a specific site to run a small workshop. I don't know if you have a workshop plan in the near future itself, because I know you just came back from Chhattisgarh. So it would be valuable
Yeah,
to plan a very specific antibiotics awareness full scope workshop.
yeah. So the images I added was just representative image. That's how we work with teachers and students. So yes, I do work with teachers and conduct teacher training workshops. So yes, we can work with teachers, and
Yeah,
if
I
we
mean, that's a
have,
very,
if,
very immediate
yeah,
next step that I would see to actually
yeah,
implement.
yeah.